Okay, let's be real. Owning a business is a lot and it can be really hard because you're not only working on the services you're providing, but you're also managing the finances, posting on social media. Some days I have tons of client revisions to do and also launch websites on top of managing my own website, and that's not even the half of it. And I've recently found some AI tools that have definitely taken the stress off my plate and made my life so much easier. I'm going to share those with you guys today because these tools not only allow me to work on the parts of my business that I really care about and that really matter, but it also helps me get out of a creative rut. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. If you haven't been here before, my name is Megan. Welcome back and Happy New Year to everyone. I'm so excited for 2025. So many fun things to come. But if you haven't been here before, I am a graphic designer. I've been designing for over 8 years now, and I have my own graphic design business where I work with clients on branding designs, website designs, all types of things, and it's so much fun. But in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys AI tools that I use because I remember, I think it was around 2 years ago, I made a video talking about if AI is going to take over graphic designers. But the reality is AI is not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get better and probably improve over the next few years, and we're going to see tons of changes, I'm sure. So I've really tried to learn how to let it help me instead of like hinder me. So the things that I've been using that I'm going to share with you guys in this video, they don't do the work for me, but they make all the other little minute tasks so much easier, or they just do it for me. So it helps me in my business because as a one-person show over here doing it all, I do need a little bit of help here and there, and I actually view AI as a beautiful tool and opportunity to grow even more because I have those tasks being taken care of. So I feel like it's not something to be afraid of, it's something to learn and something to kind of work with and have work for you. And it's really amazing, the tools that are out there now and the things that are possible. So the first tool I want to mention, which is one we all know and probably use, is ChatGPT. I honestly call ChatGPT my virtual assistant now. It is a tool that I use all the time, honestly, every single day, whether it's about my business or even just personal things. It helps me so much. I'm a very indecisive person. I overthink everything, but having something to ask a question in and get an answer right away is really awesome. I will say though, I fell into a trap last year of asking ChatGPT things before actually thinking about it myself, and I could see that that is why AI can start to become a little more negative and not the greatest thing, because it kind of just lets our brain check off and check out and not have to worry about anything, whereas I think it's really good to use our brain and to use our creativity to really just think through things on our own. So that's one thing that I'm trying to be better at. However, ChatGPT helps me in my business because I'm able to ask it how to respond to emails that maybe are a little bit more tough, or ask it advice on a client situation, or even ask advice on what to charge. It's really great because it pulls a bunch of information from other online resources and it just spits out an answer that is really clear and to the point. So I really love to use it for that, but I also like to use it for my social media posts. Sometimes if I have a caption that's just could use a little bit more meat to it or a little bit more info to it, I sometimes will add it onto ChatGPT to help me really beef it up. And sometimes with so many posts every single day that I don't mind doing that, because as long as I start the conversation and have ChatGPT help me with it, then it works great. But on top of that, I also use ChatGPT for my video outlining and also to help me come up with any sort of B-roll clips that I might want to get. So when I have a YouTube video idea, I typically will write out the title, and sometimes the title will be changed later on, but I'll write that out. I'll write out my general idea, and if I tell ChatGPT to make me a YouTube video outline based on that topic, it gives me a beautiful outline and something to follow, which I never used to do that with my YouTube videos, but I've been trying to have a better kind of routine with it so I can have more B-roll clips, make the video more dynamic, and having ChatGPT as an assistant to help me come up with that outline has been so amazing. So those are the main things I use it for. I've definitely tested it out for like helping me come up with different ideas for a design, and it still gives you great ideas, especially if you're in a little bit of a rut and you're not quite sure what else to create. I sometimes will ask it to help me come up with a really cool illustration that blends all these together, and it'll give me a great idea. So a good example of this is one of my clients that I had last year, who is a photo booth company, and they're all about like that retro vibe, the retro feel. Well, we were on our like 8th round of edits, and I just felt like me and the client just weren't aligned with like the overall vision. So that was when I leaned on ChatGPT to maybe help throw some new ideas out there for me, because I was at a point where I was like, I don't know what else to create. And it gave me such great ideas. It told me to draw a martini with disco balls in there as olives, and it was just something that was so out of the blue but so creative and helpful. So it didn't actually create the art for me, but it did give me the brainstorm idea, and it came out so awesome. So don't be afraid to use it. I think it can really come in handy, especially when you are in those situations where maybe you have so much on your plate, or maybe you have a really difficult client situation and you need a good way to respond to it. Don't be afraid to lean on ChatGPT for that. And I'm not afraid to say it. It helps me so much in my business. Okay, the next tool that I've mentioned here and there is ManyChats. This is an app that I have recently started using for my Instagram, where when someone comments on a post, that specific blurb I tell them to comment, then it automatically will send a user a DM, which then starts a kind of marketing funnel. So the reason I love this is because not only for like selling things, but like my YouTube channel, for example, I've never been very good about like posting about it on Instagram and letting people know and like shouting from the rooftop that I have a new video. But this is going to allow me to tell them to comment down below YouTube video, and I can literally directly message them that exact YouTube video. So it's a really beautiful tool. It makes more sense when you can kind of see the layout of it. So I'll add some videos here for you, but it has so many automation options for you, and it's an AI tool that basically will send those DMs. And I love it because it's like a marketing tool and a marketing funnel working for me, and it actually makes your post like a really great ROI, if that makes sense. Because I feel like one of the unmotivating parts of Instagram posting is sometimes it's like, what are we going to get out of it? You might not see any result from it for like 2 months or even a year until you really start to get some traction on your posts. But if you can actually have some sort of like engaged option on the caption and the comments and then the DMs, it just is such a great funnel for you to get your business out there in front of more eyes. And I really love it. So I highly recommend checking it out. I do pay for it now. For a while there, I was doing like the free option just to try it out, but I fell in love with it. I think it's a great tool, and it's something I'm definitely going to be using a lot more this year. Okay, another AI tool that I have used for not only myself, but some of my clients is the Canva Magic Write tool. So I've shown you guys before, but when I create my brand presentations, I sometimes will do that inside of Canva just because it's really easy to create presentations on there, create really beautiful PDFs, and I don't like to do that very much. I don't like to recommend it either because you are limited with your flexibility in your design. However, for those like quick presentations that you need to make, it's really great for that. And especially like leading up to the full brand presentation, when I send over a brand guideline and having those like logo presentations in between, it's kind of nice to have like an easy way to just have a template and add things to it. So I use that on Canva, and it's been really helpful because sometimes when I'm creating the mood board and I want to add some descriptions to it or really build on the text around the mood board, I'm able to add those keywords and my overall ideas into Canva Magic Write, and it basically will help me write a beautiful sentence. And I did this recently for my own personal brand because I've never taken the time to actually sit down and make my branding guideline for not only my business, but for Curated Collective Co. And when I did that on Canva, it helped me create a beautiful way of explaining the combination of those two businesses and just allowed me to have a more clear idea of how to explain that. So I love using this tool to help me kind of build on my thoughts and expand on it. And it's really easy to use, especially if you're already using the platform and it's just within that area. It's an easy way to get an idea of how to explain things in a different way. So definitely recommend checking it out. It's worth a try. And even if you're just using it for your personal use, it's really great. On the topic of like staying within an ecosystem of where you're designing, I design everything I do on Adobe programs, whether that's Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. I love all of them. And it's been really cool to see Adobe add in new AI tools. And their AI area is called Adobe Firefly. But I typically most often will use the generative fill AI tool, which I feel like still is in the work. I don't know if it's still in the beta version, but I don't typically use it that much, but I have used it before for a couple of my client mockups because I needed something very specific and I'm able to add in what I need. And I do think it's a really cool option for creating those mockups. And especially if you don't want to go buy a bunch of them, you can just tell it to add this logo on top of a beach bag or on a billboard or something like that, and it can create something really cool for you. So I think for having that option like within Photoshop is really awesome, because I also don't love downloading tons and tons of mockups because I just don't want to weigh my computer down with super heavy files. But this allows me to create a mockup that's also probably unique to anyone else, and not everyone else would be using the same exact one. So it's a really great tool. It's super easy to use, and you kind of just have to get the hang of it and train the generative tool on how to create a background that you actually really like and that actually looks real. But a cool part about it is you can add a reference image for it to look at and kind of form the ideas around. So it's a great option, and I think it's worth a shot for, I like to specifically use it for like mockups and stuff, but I do think it's a really fun tool that I want to use a little bit more this year. Okay, the next two tools that I'm going to mention has to do a lot with like YouTube, because this is where I like to post a lot of my content, where I like to show up, talk to you guys, share whatever it is I'm learning. And one of the tools that I have recently started using is an AI video cut tool. So the name of this one is AI Video Cut, and I actually have been speaking with the creators of this app, and it's really awesome because you give it the link to your main full video and it will take that and create a short form video. We all know short form content is pushed a lot nowadays. It's like all the platforms are doing more short form, and YouTube Shorts is an area that I try to be consistent on because I know that a lot of people like that quick and easy digestible content. So it's really cool because when I have a long form video, especially like this one, I'm never really sure like where to cut pieces of it to make a short form piece of content. But with the AI video cut tool, it does it for you, and you can tell it like how many words you want it to keep in there, and also just like it will pull whatever part of the video they think will be a good short. So it's really great. It's a great option if you're super busy and you just like cannot do the short form content. Like for me, if I'm in a busy season and I want to lean into my YouTube content, but I still want to do short form, then this is the type of tool I would use to help me not feel stressed doing both of them. So it's a really cool tool. I recommend checking it out, especially if you are doing a lot more long form content like this. Okay, the next tool that I love to use is called Creator Hooks, and it's a subscription. Basically, I was part of the newsletter, and it's written by Jake Thomas, I believe, and he has such great tips on how to not only title your YouTube videos, but telling you like what performs well on YouTube. And YouTube is so like, I've been doing it for a while now, but it's still new to me because I never took the time to learn like what does well on YouTube and like what doesn't. But with Creator Hooks, it's taught me so much. And within his platform, he uses a lot of AI tools to help you come up with a really great YouTube title. And he just has such a great formula in there. Like, I haven't been able to find anything like it because like ChatGPT does not create the best YouTube titles. It's just something I can't do on there. They sound way too cheesy and just not what I'm looking for. I'm sure I could probably reword my question to ChatGPT, but with Creator Hooks, they have those already, like the formulas inside of there to help you come up with a title that's going to work really well. So I use this a lot to help me come up with my title and to come up with like a really good thumbnail and things like that. It's just taught me so much, and the AI tool he has in there is definitely way more unique than any of the other ones I've mentioned. So if you are getting into YouTube and you want to try that out, I definitely would recommend checking it out because it's helped me learn so much. Alright, those are the main AI tools I'm using right now in my graphic design business. I know there's so many out there now. I've barely even touched the surface of the amount of tools. I know that there's tools that also help you design. However, my belief on that is the human experience and the human perspective on a design is so much more special, and it's okay to get like those ideas and brainstorm with an AI tool to help you come up with something really unique. But when it comes to actually making the art, I think the best way to do it is to have a designer or an artist or someone with that human perspective to bring to the design. But these tools I mentioned really help me in my business to stay on top of things, to make sure I'm focusing on the right things, to also make sure that what I'm putting out there is performing well. And I hope that this was helpful to you guys. But let me know if there's any tool that I mentioned that you think you're going to try out. I'd love to hear which one you guys are kind of leaning towards, but I also would love to hear what AI tools you guys are using. Let me know, because I'm always open to trying new things, learning new things, and I think that's the best way to go about this whole AI world. So if you want to learn more about any of the AI tools I'm using or any of the tools I use to manage my business, whether it's like my social media calendar or also how I edit my YouTube videos, then be sure to go check out my Patreon. I post a new tutorial in there every single week. So if you want more videos that are like really in depth with what I do in my business, how I do it, be sure to check that out. You can join for a very affordable cost. I always have it linked down below, and I'd love to connect with you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If it was helpful to you, I'd appreciate it so much if you gave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you in the next one.